Hello guys, welcome to Edge. My name is DᵀCᵀ and I'm here to help you master mathematics and give you the edge you need to succeed in your exams. Here at Edge, I will practically be solving mathematics past questions for senior school examinations, where I will be breaking down the whole process into simple, easy to understand steps. I actually understand that preparing for math exams can really be hectic, but understanding how to approach these questions, most especially the easy part, will ease you a whole lot of stress. And that is what this platform is designed to do for you. Each video is designed to boost your confidence and make math exam feel less like a mystery, but more like a basic thing you can conquer. So with that being said, let's get started. Given these two metrics, option A says, find the product of c squared plus cd. That is, we are going to obtain c squared and add it up to cd. And the B part of the question says, compute the transpose of c squared plus cd and compare it with d transpose c transpose plus c squared transpose. So in other words, we are to obtain the transpose of c squared plus cd and compare to see if the answer will give us similar metrics with that of d transpose c transpose plus c squared transpose. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with the first option, which is to find the product of c squared plus cd. Solution. Option E says, find the product c squared plus cd, right? Where we are going to have c squared to be equal to, when you are to find the metric c squared and c is given, so what you are going to do is simply to multiply metric c by itself. And what is metric c? Metric c contains the elements of 0, -1, 1 and 2. Multiplying itself, we are still going to have the same metrics, which is 0, -1, 1 and 2. And whenever you have a matrix multiplication as this, two matrices multiplying each other, what you are going to do is simple. To obtain the element in the first row, first column, we pick the elements in the first row for the first matrix, which is 0 and -1, and multiply it by the element in the first column of the second matrix, which contains the elements 0 and 1. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So we are going to have 0 multiplying 0, which is 0 multiplying 0, plus -1 multiplying 1, -1 multiplying 1. That's for the elements in the first row, first column. Now going down to the elements in the second row, second column, we are going to have the first row multiplying the second row. So it's going to be 0 multiplied by -1, 0 multiplied by -1, plus -1 multiplying 2, -1 multiplying 2, and this will give us the element in the first row, second column. Now for the element in the second row, first column, we are going to have the element in the second row, which is 1 and 2, multiplying the elements in the first column for the second matrix, which is 0 and 1. So we are going to have it to be 1 multiplied by 0 plus 2 multiplying 1. So it's going to be 2 multiplying 1. Now for the elements in the second row, second column, it's going to be the second row for the first matrix multiplying the second column for the second matrix. So we are going to have this to be 1 multiplying -1, plus 2 multiplying 2. So to simplify this matrix further, we are going to multiply the elements in the bracket and add it to each other. So to go ahead and do that, we are going to have 0 multiplied by 0, which will give us 0, plus -1 multiplied by 1 is going to give us -1. So automatically, this positive sign here is going to turn negative. Why? Because positive multiplying negative is going to be negative. So we are going to have it to be 0 minus 1. Now for the element in this first row, second column, we are going to have it to be 0 multiplied by -1 is going to give us 0, plus -1 multiplying +2 is going to give us -2. So automatically, this sign here is going to turn negative because positive multiplying negative will give us a negative sign. So we are going to have it to be 0 minus 2. For the element in the second row, first column, we are going to have 1 multiplied by 0, which is going to give us 0, plus 2 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 2. And for this, we are going to have -1 multiplying 1 is going to give us -1, plus 2 multiplying 2 is going to give us 4. And to simplify further, 0 minus 1, we are going to have it to be -1. 0 minus 2, we are going to have it to be -2. 0 plus 2, we are going to have it to be 2. And -1 plus 4 is going to give us 3. So this gives us the elements -1, -2, 2, and 3. Now we've successfully achieved or obtained the matrix C-square. So the next thing we are going to do is to obtain CD, so that we are going to add up the two matrices together to obtain our final result for option A. So let's go ahead and do that. CD is going to be, now we have matrix C to be 0, -1, 1, and 2, right? And we have matrix D to be 1, 3, 4, 0. So this is matrix multiplication as well. So we are going to apply the same method we do for the first one to get the CD. So it's going to be first row by first column to obtain the element in the first row, first column. So it's going to be 0 multiplied by 1 plus -1 multiplied by 4 for the first row, first column element. And for the next one, we are going to have first row by second column. So it's going to be 0 multiplied by 3 plus -1 by 0. And for the next one, we are going to have second row by first column. So it's going to be 1 multiplying 1 plus 2 multiplying 4. And for the next one, we are going to have second row by second column, and it's going to be 1 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by 0. So to simplify this further, we are going to have 0 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 0, plus -1 by 4, we are going to have -4, which in summary is going to be 0 minus 4. 0 minus 4. Now 0 multiplied by 3 is going to give us 0, plus -1 by 0 is going to give us 0. 1 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 1, plus 2 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 8. 1 multiplied by 3 is going to give us 3, plus 2 multiplied by 0 is going to give us 0. So simplifying this further, we are going to have 0 minus 4 is going to give us negative 4. 0 plus 0 is going to give us 0. 1 plus 8 is going to give us 9. And 3 plus 0 is going to give us 3. So matrix C multiplying D is going to give us this matrix, which contains the elements negative 4, 0, 9, and 3. Now to further add up, C square plus CD is going to give us negative 1, negative 2, 2, and 3, right? Adding up to CD, which we just obtained to be negative 4, 0, 9, and 3. And when it comes to addition, what we do is we add up the corresponding elements. That is, element in the first row, first column is going to add up to the element in the first row, first column for the second matrix. Element in the first row, second column is going to add up to elements in the first row, second column of the other matrix. So is this with this and this with this. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to have negative 1 adding up to negative 4. And for the next one, it's going to be negative 2 adding up to 0. And for the next one, it's going to be 2 adding up to 9. And lastly, we are going to have 3 adding up to 3. So to simplify this further, we are going to have, now this is negative 1 adding up to negative 4. And positive and negative is going to result to negative. So that's to say we have negative 1, negative 4 here. And negative 1 subtracting negative 4 is going to give us negative 5. Negative 2 plus 0 is going to give us negative 2. And 2 plus 9 is going to give us 11. 3 plus 3 is going to give us 6. So this is the final matrix for C square plus CD. Now we are done with option E, right? So now we are going to option B. Option B said we should compute C square plus CD transpose, that is the transpose of C square plus CD, which we just obtained, and we should compare it with D transpose multiplying C transpose plus C square transpose. That's to say we are going to find the transpose for C, for D, and C square and add them up and then compare it with the transpose of C square plus CD, which we just obtained. So the first thing we are going to do is first to find the transpose of this result which we just obtained, C square plus CD, and keep it aside while we obtain this. So let's go ahead and do that. Since C square plus CD is equal to negative 5, negative 2, 11, and 6, right? This implies that C square plus CD transpose is going to be, now how do we obtain a transpose of a matrix? For a 2 by 2 matrix, the simplest and easiest way to obtain a transpose for 2 by 2 matrix is, what we are going to do is the first row, which is this, will become the first column, and the second row will become the second column. That is just a short way to obtain a transpose of a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, so let's go ahead and do that. The first row here containing the element -5 and -2. So we are going to have it to be the first column, -5 and -2. And the second row here is 11 and 6. So we are going to have it to be the second column, which is 11 and 6. So this is the transpose of the C² plus CD, which we just obtained. So the next thing we are going to do is to find this transpose, C transpose, adding up to C² transpose, and we are going to compare it with this. So let's go ahead and do that. Therefore, to obtain D transpose, multiplying C transpose plus C² transpose, where we have matrix D to be equal to 1, 3, 4, and 0, and matrix C, we have it to be 0, -1, 1, and 2. And what is matrix C²? Matrix C², we obtain it to be -1, -2, 2, and 3. So we are going to obtain the transpose of each of these. Let's go ahead and obtain it. So since D is equal to, we have 1, 3, 4, 0, right? This implies that D transpose is going to be, mind you, first row becomes the first column and second row becomes the second column, as simple as that. So elements in the first row here, we have 1 and 3, so it's going to be 1 and 3. And elements in the second row, we have it to be 4 and 0. So we are going to have 4 and 0 here. This gives us D transpose. And also C transpose, since we have C to be equal to, and what is matrix C? We have 0, -1, we have 1 and 2. So the transpose of C is going to be, we have CT to be equal to, first row become the first column, is going to be 0 and -1. Second row becomes the second column, is going to be 1 and 2. So this gives us C transpose. Mind you, D transpose is multiplying C transpose here before we add up C² transpose. So let's go ahead and multiply these two matrices which we obtain. Therefore, D transpose multiplying C transpose is going to be, what is D transpose? We have it to be 1, 4, 3, and 0. Multiplying C transpose, which is 0, 1, -1, and 2. So let's go ahead and solve this multiplication. We are going to have, remember, for multiplication is first row by first column to obtain the element in the first row first column. So it's going to give us 1 multiplying 0 plus 4 multiplying -1 for elements in the first row first column, and for the other one we are going to have first row by second column. So it's going to be 1 multiplying 1 plus 4 multiplying 2. So for second row first column, we are going to have this multiplying this. So it's going to be 3 multiplying 0 plus 0 multiplying -1. And for the last one, we are going to have this multiplying this. So it's going to be 3 multiplying 1 plus 0 multiplying 2. So to simplify further, we are going to have 1 multiplying 0 is going to be 0 plus 4 multiplying -1 is going to give us -4. 1 multiplying 1 is going to be 1 plus 4 multiplying 2 is going to be 8. 3 multiplying 0 is going to be 0 plus 0 multiplying -1 is going to be 0. 3 multiplying 1 is going to be 3 plus 0 multiplying 2 is going to be 0. So simplifying further, we are going to have 0 plus or 0 minus 4, because positive and negative will give us negative, right? So it's going to be 0 minus 4 is going to be -4. 1 plus 8 is going to give us 9. And 0 plus 0 is going to give us 0. 3 plus 0 is going to give us 3. So we have this matrix to be the product of D transpose and C transpose. So the next thing we are going to do is to add up the D transpose C transpose, which we just obtained, and C square transpose, right? So it's going to be, therefore, D transpose C transpose plus C square transpose is going to be D transpose C transpose. We just obtain it now to be -4, 9, 0, and 3, right? Now, adding up to C transpose, mind you, we have C square already, which have the elements -1, -2, 2, and 3. So let's quickly obtain this transpose of the C square so that we can use it there. This implies that C square transpose is going to be, now mind you, the easiest way to obtain a transpose of a matrix is first row becomes the first column, right? So it's going to be -1, -2, and second row becomes the second column. So it's going to be 2 and 3, right? So that's to say C transpose is going to give us -1, 2, -2, and 3. So let's go ahead and add it up to the other one. -1, 2, -2, and 3. So mind you, addition have to do with corresponding elements, right? This with this, this with this, and this with this. So we are going to have -4 plus -1, and for the next one we are going to have 9 plus 2, 0 plus -2, and 3 plus 3, right? This is going to give us now -4 plus, mind you, we have -1 here, so it's going to be -4, -1, because positive and negative is going to give us negative. So -4 and -1 is going to give us -5. 9 plus 2 is going to give us 11. 0 plus -2 is going to give us -2, and 3 plus 3 is going to give us 6. So adding up this, we have the final result to be -5, 11, -2, and 6. Now, mind you, we were asked to compare, right? So let's go back to the question and see. The B part of the question says, compute this, which is the transpose of C squared plus CD, which we obtain in option A, and compare it with this. So we just solved this now. Therefore, comparing C squared plus CD transpose and D transpose C transpose, adding up to C square transpose, where we have what is C square CD transpose, which we obtained earlier. Let's go ahead and check it out. C square plus CD transpose is having the elements -5, 11, -2, and 6. So this is having -5, 11, -2, and 6. And what is D transpose? C transpose plus C square transpose. And we've obtained it recently, which is this -5, 11, -2, and 6. This shows that these two expressions are equal, right? So in conclusion, we can see that this implies that C squared plus CD transpose is equal to D transpose C transpose plus C square transpose. So that is the final result. Since I say we should compare this result with this, and we've compared the result and both are equal, we draw conclusion that this is the same thing as this. So that will be all for this video. Stay tuned and engage for the next one. Also remember that the goal of this platform is to solve as many past questions as possible, just to help you overcome what I called math exams tension. So if you have any challenging question from this topic you would like me to help you solve, kindly drop them at the comment section or reach out to me via email or DM, and I'll be glad to assist. Thanks for watching and have a great day.